Hey, it's not a nerd. This is vlog 3 of Solar Goldrush vlog, sorry. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, sorry. 10 past 2. Truly no nerd today. But basically, I'm going to do a show another time lapse for this vlog. I'll do updates on the general project. It's getting somewhere now. Like, I've also got on board PixelBlip, who's going to be helping me out with effects and various other features. He's another programmer. You can check out his channel. I'll put the link below. He's also a creative developer. Does all sorts of interesting things with like retro technology, but also he's programming with AFrame as well. So he's going to be joining me on this project, which is exciting to have somebody else I can bounce ideas off. So basically, I'll run the time lapse, just talk about what I managed to achieve in this week. I worked on it for about 4 or 5 hours. This is a sped up version of 4 or 5 hours of work basically. It's coming along well, just starting to get some ideas for new features as well in the next few weeks or month as we continue to experiment on this project. And yeah, I'll run the time lapse in a minute, but basically the project, just as an overview, I've gone over this before, basically it's going to be a space exploration game of some sort, maybe with resource collection, and it's going to be generative, so it'll be different every time. That's already sort of working, but it needs a lot of tweaking obviously to look good. I need to add the graphics, like the actual boilerplate's there in place for everything in a minute, like the functions I've written, but I also need to do a few other things still, which like orbiting planets around the sun, work on the seed values for the spreading of the planets and stars, and just obviously then like making it all look good. One thing I've got in mind still as well is to customize a HUD. At the minute I'm using just a generic one I found online, but I need to customize it. I might do that myself at some point in the next week, or maybe not. Look, I did ask my housemate if he wanted to crack at it, but he's quite busy with work, so I'll probably just I'll have a crack at it myself anyway, and then if I can't do it, I'll just get my housemate to have a go at it, or Mike possibly. But anyway, that's just the full process and everything. Roll time lapse. So this is the start of the time lapse. So just basically there's a texture error of some sort. I don't know what I was doing here actually. What was I doing? Something weird. But yeah, there was something to do with the AFrame wasn't working for some reason. So I was just like, I got really frustrated at this point. But then anyway, I get back into everything properly. Started started working on the scene again. I had to remove some of the lights. I was trying to add lights before. I'm still doing that. Playing around again with some of the settings basically for the seeds values, the randomization, and just all that sort of thing. It's still ongoing actually. I'm still trying to get that perfect, and at the minute I'm currently working on basically orbits around planets. Some colours, obviously, just playing around with colours at this point. Then also, yeah, I decided to add a blue background because it was really annoying. I couldn't really tell where anything was. The black one, that's been changed now, but looking at the AFrame environment component, we're probably going to use that actually for landing on planets. That's a planned feature in the future. So at this point, again, just like looking at the spread of stars and just looking at that from the AFrame inspector. That's what I'm doing there mostly. Downloaded some sound effects, but downloaded in general a bunch of assets now, like textures. I want to randomly apply textures for planets and applied textures for just a generic text for the sun, or maybe some, but yeah, that's still ongoing. But I basically just downloaded them. Again, just like more of the testing out, like what different sorts of scenes I can produce. I've got into the idea of adding a rotation, but I'm changing the way I'm doing that now. I was going to try and do it via a component, but I think I'm just going to do it with the animation system in AFrame itself. Just add it. I think I've already done it actually. But anyway, yeah, here we go. adding a light effect to the ship. So start playing around with that. So again, this is a highly experimental phase of development for this is 4 hours of footage, so it's just mostly playing around with aesthetics, as it were. Okay. So yeah, I was just again like playing around with light settings, seeing what I could do with that. How that came on the idea of that green sort of glowing effect, which I've taken off for now, but I might add it back on just for the ship. Just basically has a light that's around it or something, or inside it, probably in the HUD itself. And the blue background, and just again, just updating the README. That's always an important thing. What I was doing here, probably just thinking about stuff. Just thinking around, traveling around. The textures again. Doing some modification, I think, of this is the traveling around again, just having a look at how everything's spread out. Getting the spread right is going to be quite difficult. I think probably at the minute, so I'm working with another guy now on this, Mike, who's developer, Pixelblip on here, and we've been discussing some of these changes we're planning to do. I managed to get the texture in the background, but it's a bit of a CSS hack though, so we might revisit that. We basically just apply a background texture and spread it over the entire thing, which seems to work for now, but again, it's led to some other complications. Basically doing star X and Y positioning, and then also about planets. So I'm trying to get it so that planets, so stars basically have like every time you create a star basically in the loop, it will create these planets as well, so a specific number that you pass in as a parameter. That is a lot of, like, it's too spread at the minute, so I'm again just looking at that basically. I went onto this and then basically just looking at some code for
that's interesting on some level.
Adding materials.
Keep on subscribing, like the video, and then subscribe to the channel if you want to see more on this project. It's coming along nicely actually. I'm still got a lot of enthusiasm and energy for this project. It's just endlessly interesting because it's physics and space and stuff. So yeah, it's a good project to work on as a side project outside of my work, which is starting tomorrow actually. So we'll be back on that proper like that again, but it's good to have a side project for sure, which I can just, it's more experimental work. And yeah, anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'm Noir Nerd, being Noir at night, and a nerd. So yeah, have a good one.